it's me again. Today what I wanted to do was to talk about shoulders, because we need our shoulders. We need our shoulders to comb your hair, or, stop looking like a mad professor because I can't get to the hairdresser, of course, in these times. Shoulders are so important, getting food to the mouth, more importantly maybe drink, all the rest of it. We need the full flexibility of our shoulders. So, little bit of anatomy first. If you find you've got pain in and around the shoulder, maybe over the top here, so coming into this area, coming into the back of the neck there, I can tell you it's not coming off your shoulder. If you have a problem with the shoulder joint, which could be inflammation in there, or problems with the muscles that come off the back here, and they are stabilizers. They're the ones that stop this little bit of bone here from batting up against this one. They're the ones that help control the movement. If you have a problem with that, then the shoulder itself will give you pain that starts from about here and then goes down. Very important point again, remember, pain doesn't go up. There's two exceptions to that, and only two. And one of them is the disc lesion in the low back that will push pain, or can push pain, up to the shoulders, and the other one is where you get problems with the top three vertebrae of the neck, and that of course can cause you 80-90% of cause of headaches and migraines. Back to the shoulder. So if you have a pain that starts from here and goes down, then the odds are it is coming from the shoulder. And one way to check on that is to see what the movement is like. So if you can turn your arm in and out without any problem, up the back, above your head, and if that works, then moving the shoulder like that, but you've still got pain, says actually it isn't probably the shoulder. Because what you've also got is the nerves that supply the upper arm, and they come off the middle of the neck. They go over the first rib, they go under the collarbone, and then they go into the arm. So if you have a bit of a problem in the middle part of the neck, that can also give you pain that starts from here and goes down. Lesser ones can also give you pain in and around the top of the neck and the shoulder. That's where the pain is coming from. But back to the shoulder joint. If you find you're limited in, say, turning the arm out, or trying to get your hand behind your back, if that's hurting, then the odds are that is the problem. So what can we do about it in these difficult times? Well, I'm going to shove Napoleon over there for a minute. Just some very simple points. Joints are made to work thousands of times in a day. We use them, we don't think about them until something happens and they start to hurt. So to get some movement back, on the assumption that what you've got in there is maybe some inflammation, so-called frozen shoulder. Why don't we get frozen knees and hips? I don't know, but we do get apparently frozen shoulders. And these are generally what is determined as an adhesive capsulitis. But as I say, there's no examination for this at all. Adhesive capsulitis, inflammation in the joint, and it can be very severe. It needs treatment. But if you can't do it, as in the times of the moment, then here's a little bit that might help you. So, what you need to remember, thousands of movements that are pain-free. That's what normally happens. So we need to reproduce that, to get that joint working, get the soft tissues working, get the fluid, if you like, moving around within the joint that helps lubricate it. And very simply, start at the inside and work your way out. Simple exercise. Roll the shoulders back. Get the shoulder blade working. We all know where that is. There's the shoulder blade, there's the arm, there's the collarbone. The arm and the shoulder blade work as a unit, as does the collarbone, but for this, we need to think about that, the shoulder blade. So rolling your shoulders back gets that working around the chest wall. So you can do it, roll with the shoulder. If that's nice and easy and free, then add in the elbow. If you can only do it in that little bit there, or even that little bit there, then that's the way to do it until it becomes completely pain-free. Another golden rule, you're not allowed to hurt yourself. The idiom of no pain, no gain is wrong. All you're doing, if you're generating pain by moving, is reinforcing to your brain and nervous system that Actually, do you want to do that? You're doing yourself harm. So keep it within pain-free limits. A little bit uncomfortable's allowed, but nothing more than that. So roll the shoulder back, add in the elbow if you can. Little movements to start. Do hundreds of them in a day and just keep it working. The more you hold it still, the worse it's going to be. Rest is almost never an answer in this sort of situation. So, roll the shoulders back, keep doing it, drive everybody else in the house mad, add in the shoulder, a bit higher every day maybe, just keep it working and going backwards. Because if you think about it, everything we do forward. So that's always a movement that we're always going to be able to do. But it's the rolling it back is the problem. So shoulder, elbow, and when that gets easy, then do it in hand. So you can do big backstroke movements. I will step back. There we go. Big backward movement. And keep doing that until it becomes pain-free. You can also do things, standard exercises here, just to pull that back. All right. All of these are mobilizing exercises. They're designed to loosen the joint out. And it's not going to happen in 5 minutes, depending on the severity, but you can gradually bring that back, get that range of movement, and then in a moment I'm going to show you some strengthening exercises. Now, add in the rotations, keeping the elbows into the side, and just turning your arms out. So round to there, and then maybe up the back. Just very simple ones that are just up and down and up and down. As I say, drive everybody mad with these repetitive movements, hundreds of times in a day, but little and often. Don't spend half an hour doing it, just waiting for the kettle to boil yet again with the endless amounts of cups of tea and coffee that we're all drinking. Just get it moving. It's almost a question of, I don't care what you do, keep your joints working. That's the main thrust of all of this. What I'm going to show you now is my favourite series of exercises for the shoulder and the upper back. Remembering posture is all about getting the joints in the right place so that the joint can then work. If you put your shoulders forward, then you can't get your arms above your head. If you bring your shoulders back into the right place, then you've got more of a chance of doing this and getting your shoulders and your arms above your head. So posture is, as I say, really all about getting the joint in the right place so it can work at its best, in fact how it was designed. So these series of exercises, as I say, I got from this conference, and this chap was a dentist. He wasn't a dentist, he was a physiotherapist who was working a lot with children correcting their posture because he was talking about how it could affect the position of the teeth. Slightly relevant for what you need to know now. So, 6 exercises done 6 times each side. It works both the stabilizers of the joint and it works the big movers and shakers that actually work the joint. You need both series, both types of muscle to keep the joints fit and well and working properly and without pain, of course. So, piece of band. Most people, I say most people, lots of people have exercise band. This is from one particular manufacturer. It's about a medium strength, but whatever you've got around the house. You could start off with the very weakest one. You could also, of course, order it online, but you can start off with a very weak one if you've got very painful shoulders and gradually work it up, or you can start in the middle, and this is the sort that we normally give patients. Don't be tempted to go to the very strong, because if you could do these exercises with a very strong piece of band, then the argument says you don't need to do them. So, 6 exercises, here we go. First one is, imagine that you've got the virus sitting there, that awful picture of that virus, and what you're going to do is to punch it on the nose. So 6 times, overreach on the shoulders, unlike for karate. Just punch it one on the nose, or anybody else you don't like actually, I mean you can do that. So 6 times each side, and that just sort of warms the shoulders up. Then what you do is you take the band, and the first one is where you anchor it on one side. So I've got it in my hand, and I'm going to anchor the band there. Give yourself a little bit of stretch on it. If it's too strong, then you can't perform the movement. So you give yourself a little bit of extra so that you can do that. As the muscles get stronger, then you can shorten the band, and that's a great advantage of these things. You can shorten it down and therefore grade it through the strengthening process. So, left hand, in this case, starting on my left knee. Now I've got my right hand here and I'm going to put it on top of my left hand. And what I do then is to stretch up there. So I'm going to take that all the way above my head. Don't go out to the side, because that's using slightly different muscle groups. You need on that diagonal. The body works on diagonals. So I want 6 on this side. This is my exercise again, because this is my second go at making this video. So 6 on there, and then 6 on the other side. So we take it up to there. So that's 2 and 3 and 4. Don't go too fast, control the movement. You're much better doing it absolutely precisely than doing 120, 200 times badly, because you're just reinforcing a poor movement then. So the next one, put it into the palms of your hands, so your palms are up facing upwards. Grip it, that's where the strength comes, on the little finger side of the hand, and then turn it so that your thumbs are uppermost. Now, very important, elbows into your side. They're going to stay there. Don't let them come out to the side. Keep them tight in there. Then what you do is you take one hand out to the side and you're holding it. This hand here is working the stabilizers and you'll feel them working. So you want to go out to the side like that 6 times and then swap it round and do 6 on the other. So that's those there. And 6. Then what you do is give yourself a little bit more band, hang on to it. Now you want shoulder height and about shoulder width apart. So this time what I'm going to do is to take that out to the side. What I'm not going to do is to turn my whole body. Right? If you can't do that movement without movement of your body, then give yourself a little bit of extra band so that you can perform the movement. So it's 6 out to the side, and again, my left hand, the stabilizers are working to hold it there, and then we want to do 6 out to this side. So keep the body and the trunk nice and stable. Alright? So 6, if that's 6, then 6 out to that side. So then we come to, it's slightly odd, you can't see, but what I'm going to do is to put my left foot on the band, and I've got hold of the other end here, but this is the one that's going to do the deed. So I want to shorten the band, hold the band lower down, about middle of the calf, and then what I'm going to do is to lift my elbow, so it's elbow up. And again, keep the trunk still, because that way also you're working your core muscles to hold you in that position so that your arms can work. Of course, one of the functions of the core muscles. Get the trunk in the right place so you can use the limbs. So elbow up. What you don't want to do is to do hand higher. If it's feeling weak, then that's what you will tend to do. The body will find a way to perform that movement. If you can't do that, again, give yourself a bit more band. So you're coming elbow up to that side, then swap it round. So I've now got it on the other side, and I have to say, by holding the other end of the band means that it can't flip out from under your foot. So again, I'm going to shorten that down a little bit to there, and I'm going to go up to there. So keep the trunk nice and straight and lift the elbow lift. And again, we're on a diagonal, and it's 6 times there. Right. So that's where we've got to first. Quick reminder, punching without the band, 6 times each side. We've got elbows tight in, out to the sides. Then we've got up to shoulder height, out to there, and out to there. And then we've got under the foot and elbow. Try not to put the other hand, onto the knee, because the tendency is if you're a bit weak, then what you do is you sort of lever against it. Let that hand go there, so its pure movement is there. Right? Then what we need to do is to go from the knee there, from the hand, and straight up there. So again, this time, follow it with your eyes, because now what you're doing is rotating all the way down through the spine. But again, it's that diagonal movement, straight up to there. But you're keeping your trunk still, right? It's in line, it's not turning with it, but you're exercising your neck at the same time. And then you want to do 6 on the other side, going straight up to there. That's it, 6. And then the very last one is the same as the first, but this time you're going to have a bit of resistance to it. So you want to flip it around your shoulders, and now what you're going to do is to punch again that virus on the nose, thank you very much, but this time it's with resistance. If you've got something slippy on, it keeps flipping off your shoulders, then you can just tuck it underneath your armpits here, and again punch there. So you're doing 6 times right to the middle. Alright, 6 times each side. These are so important, these exercises. They work all those muscles around the shoulders to give it the stability and the strength that you need to be able to work them. Use them in conjunction with all the mobilizing exercises. Right, now one I wanted to do before was with your hands by your side. You do it sitting or standing, and it's just turn the thumbs out. So that does a bit of rotation in the shoulder. It's one of those simple things you can do when you're standing in the car park in the queue for the supermarket. It's just turn the thumbs out, and again it actually works the shoulders. Lots of simple movements that keep the shoulders working. We need them, so make them work. And as I said before, almost any movement, just make them work. Practice swimming when you're not there in the water. So you're swimming that way, you're doing backstroke, you're doing, I don't know, backwards butterfly. Don't do the drowning bit, that's not so good. So, movements of the shoulders, hundreds of times in a day, pain-free. You're allowed a little bit of discomfort, but really nothing more than that. And if you can't do it, then reduce the resistance from the band, or just reduce the range of the movement. But whatever you do, keep those shoulders working. It is so important, so important. So swing them round in circles, practice canoeing, all sorts of things that you can do. Everything there. Now, key point, if you haven't actually got a band, then you can do the same movements. Remember, it's the punching, but this time with something like a tin of beans, tin of chopped tomatoes if you can get them, toilet rolls too light. So punching that way, in the side, elbows into the side, elbows out to the hand out to the side. Again, you've got that little bit of resistance because you've got the tin in your hand. Alright, and you can do one after the other, or you can do 6 on one side, 6 on the other, don't mind. But you've got that, then you've got up here, remember, follow with the eyes, keep the arm close to the head. So it's that one up there. Don't let go of the tin of beans, you never know what might happen. And then you've got, it's the pulling, this one, elbow up, remember. It's that action right there. That's what we want, and the hand off the knee. So 6 there, 6 on the other side, and then we've got tins of beans in your hands. The first one is the same as the last one. So just as a recap. And I hope this helps. Gives you something to do, but it gives you something constructive to do. And if you've got a little bit of pain in the shoulder, work it. Don't rest it. Alright? And I'll see you again soon.